We are the learners and makers. We've always wanted to take the kids on a long train trip, but had never been able to make the timing work until now. For 2 days, we traveled from Oregon to Colorado on one of the most scenic journeys we've ever taken. But we left with an unwanted visitor. Would we want to ride the train again? We had looked at train travel several times.
I mean, we've got various experience with trains. I've ridden trains all over the UK, all over India. When we took Connor to Japan when he was a toddler, we loved riding trains all over Japan. In the US, though, it's always been harder for us to figure out.
It's just been tricky. And a big part of that was just time. Mm-hmm. Because if we were going somewhere, we usually had a limited amount of time, and so it was always worth it to travel in the fastest way possible, which meant flying.
But then we realized we didn't have that limitation anymore. Well, like riding the train is so much more than just getting from where you start to where you're trying to get to. Riding the train is an experience in and of itself. So being able to go through, especially in the west of the USA, where you have these incredible landscapes, and what do you have to do? Sit back and relax.
Yeah. We did do this partially as a cost-saving tactic. Flights were looking extremely expensive. And in the past, when we kind of compared, there wasn't enough difference to justify it also. And in this case, it really helped us save costs on this trip. Only because we decided to travel coach, which was a choice on its, it just is, we knew it wasn't going to be super comfortable.
At the same time, getting a sleeper car was something like 5-6 times more expensive.
Oh my gosh, it was so much more expensive, yeah. Which if we, weren't doing it for the cost savings, then I don't know, maybe we would look into that.
Maybe.
But it definitely was, we knew we were not going to be super comfortable.
Especially when trying to sleep overnight. With sleeping. Definitely the trickiest.
And, but we also figured, I don't know, we've survived a couple of newborns. We've gone through sleepless nights. Like, what's a couple sleepless nights? We went through like years of sleepless nights.
I will say, this was some of the cruddiest sleep I've ever had since having newborns. However, there are also things we probably could have done to make some of that easier. Like, I kept struggling with feeling like my neck was in a good position, and that made it hard to sleep. So if I'd been able to figure out something to just put back there, I would have been more comfortable. I think I figured out later, I was like, I could have probably grabbed like a little packing cube of clothes out of my backpack and tucked that behind me.
We are nice and situated. Master's here watching the show. We're going through the Oregon forest, and there is a lot of room here for all of our stuff. This is what the footroom looks like.
During the day, though, the train was brilliant. You have lots of leg room. You got a nice tray you can pull down, so it was easy for us to have the kids do some schoolwork. Jody and I could do a little work on the business and content making and whatnot, and we could also just relax. That clackety-clack of the wheels does have its own special kind of hypnotizing rhythm to it, and then you can get up and walk around so easily. We would go down to the observation car and hang out. We'd hang out at our seats. We'd wander around the train, go downstairs to the cafe car and get little treats or coffee or whatnot. So being able to mix and match, moving around with taking in different advantages from different parts of the train just really helped kind of change things up whenever we needed a little change of scene. So Connor, tell me again what you saw.
So I was in this observation car on my own. There was this dead tree with a nest in it, and there was a young eagle in the nest, and I saw it.
Wow. Do you think that happens regularly?
No.
Especially on someone's second train ride?
No.
We've got 4 tips to offer for making your long distance train ride more fun and comfortable. 1, pack the snacks and beverages you want. You don't have a liquid limit like you do flying, so if you want to stock up on your favorite beverage, your favorite food, you've got way more baggage allowance and liquid allowance than you would on a plane. That said, check rules around like alcohol and whatnot. Make sure you're in bounds. To give you an example, we had a little stopover in Sacramento where we would catch a train to Denver. So since we had some time, we went out to breakfast, and then I went over to a store and just got a bunch of beverages for us and the kids, so we could just vary things up instead of just, water.
We survived our first night. We're getting breakfast. Good breakfast? Yeah. Now that being said, the cafe car is actually very reasonably priced. There isn't a lot of selection, so you're kind of limited to what they microwave there, and I wouldn't say it's super fantastic either. I mean, you're not getting a gourmet meal, but it's not super expensive. So if you want to skip the beverages because you're fine with the beverages they have in the cafe car and you just want to buy them, you're not paying extraordinary prices for getting a soda or something like that. I would prioritize food, bringing our own like fresh veggies to munch on, fruit and stuff like that, because that's not really available in the cafe car, but over the beverages. And we brought both. We brought some snacks, crackers, tried to get the healthy things because the things in the cafe car were not like super healthy.
A train route on Amtrak is going to pass through so many scenic areas. And a lot of trains will have an observation car where you've got floor-to-ceiling windows, there's tons of seating, and you can just sit back, relax, and truly enjoy the view. What's really fun is in some areas, you may get an announcement that there'll be a member of staff up in the observation car giving you some commentary. They might be sharing indigenous legends about a rock feature, they might be talking about some of the geology. There's all sorts of things you might get to learn while hearing them chat.
The height of the top of the train car.
Looking for an ancient beer cave.
Okay, we're gonna watch out for these cool things, and then I can give Connor a chest defeat.
No, come
Very funny.
take that around.
Oh, so I'm going to just completely annihilate Connor with chest?
Maybe you should say, strike that
Oh, you ready? Okay. You ready?
That opening in the rock in his fairway is right here, so look from that white hole right there.
Oh, wow. How
Did you
cool!
get it?
I think
make
so.
it straight line. There. Got it.
Wow.
We're in Colorado.
Where are we?
Colorado.
Colorado! You can also go through areas that you may not see otherwise. As we crossed from Utah into Colorado, there was about a 200-mile stretch we traveled on along the river that you could only see by train or by boat.
Make sure you have all of your entertainment or work needs or whatever downloaded on your devices before you go. Very few of the Amtrak lines offer Wi-Fi. We were on the Cascades.
Oh, we were on the Coast Starlight.
Coast Starlight.
And then I think it was a California Zephyr.
California Zephyr. Neither of those have Wi-Fi, and you're going through huge chunks of time where you won't even have cell phone service.
It is the last day of our 3-day train ride from Oregon to Colorado. I'm a little sleepy. Sleep has been a little tricky in the seats. We've managed all right. At the same time, as much as I love to drive, it is also nice just to sit back and relax. And a lot of chats with my family. Jody and the kids have been up in the observation car playing chess. Reading, I've been reading a lot, doing some work, working on my next book. It has been a really nice way to travel. I'm really glad we did this. I love our road trips, but this has been such a great way to just enjoy some of the incredible landscapes we have out here in the American West. But I am also looking forward to getting into Denver this evening.
So, the one big thing that happened for us, we had an unexpected, well, I don't even know if I'd say totally unexpected, but an unfortunate visitor that was the result of being on the train for 2 days, and that was COVID. We had not had COVID yet, but it finally caught up to us on this 2-day train ride, which isn't a huge surprise. We spent 2 days in a car with a lot of people, and
if we were gonna catch it, it's no surprise. This is where it got us.
So, as you are maybe booking a trip like this, you might want to keep that in mind. Right now, it's still a time where if you are being in a place like that so intensely with the same people is very likely to have some COVID spread. I would have actually been a little bit surprised if we hadn't. It really did put a big crimp in our trip. Things that we were really looking forward to, we could no longer do because we had to isolate, and we were stuck isolating in a motel room, which really was not the most fun.
Our family is vaccinated. We've gotten pretty much whatever shots we're allowed to get. So luckily we had pretty mild cases.
Extremely mild cases.
Yeah, like if we had not tested positive, I never would have thought that I had anything more than like a little cold or something to do with the elevation and some allergies. But the key question is
would we go on the train again?
Oh, heck yeah.
I think we would. I mean, especially hopefully these things just get easier and easier and become less and less of a thing and spread less. I mean, that's what everybody's hoping, right? I would totally go on a train again.
Well,
and I would do it in coach again.
Yeah.
While it was uncomfortable, for sleep, I still would do it. I think Connor summed it up pretty well. We would do 2 nights again. But if you were edging into 3 nights or more, I don't know what trips would be more than that, but maybe there's a line that goes more than that. If you're doing 3 nights on the train, it would maybe be worth it to get a sleeper car at that point.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah. At the same time, all the positives of being on the train, just being able to hang out, relax, all that incredible scenery, that lovely sound of the wheels going over the tracks, just being able to spend time together, appreciating the view, kind of doing our own thing with work or entertainment or whatnot, just that really nice mix of just being there with each other in the moment. That was really wonderful. I mean, sickness happens. It's a part of travel. It's a part of life. And it's definitely a consideration, but it's not the sort of thing that's going to necessarily stop us from going for something we think will be a net positive experience for our family.
You let us know below. Would you take a train for 2 days in coach? We'd like to hear about it. Maybe you've already done it before. Well, this is the very beginning of what we were calling our family tour. This was us seeing all of our family before we head out for our full-time international travel. And we're really excited to show you some of the places that we got to go when we were not isolating from COVID. Make sure you subscribe, hit thumbs up, and ding the bell so you get notified about our future videos.
You can visit our website, learnersandmakers.com, for in-depth travel guides on family travel, traveling with a disability, and more. Also, make sure you follow our everyday adventures on Instagram and TikTok at Learners and Makers. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. We are the Learners and Makers.
You certainly made a big sound. Where did you learn to do that?
All right, take two.